edition of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are San Diego.
I want to make the announcement that we're going with Pat Murphy as the interim manager for the rest of the season. Had a chance to talk to some internal candidates yesterday afternoon, late into the night, and I informed Pat this morning of the decision. One of the biggest things, he brings a lot of years of experience managing. He's been over 30 years managing, various levels. Obviously, a lot of success in college baseball. Then coming into the Padres organization in the 2010 season, he's had the ability to manage rookie ball up until AAA. I think from biggest thing is some continuity there. He knows our players. He's been in our system. He's managed quite a few of the players, either in the minor leagues or through rehab assignments, and been around the group in spring training. But it's also a chance to add a different voice and go forward.
There you go. It's official. Pat Murphy will be the manager of the San Diego Padres for, at minimum, the remainder of this 2015 season. Welcome to Petco Park with Mark Grant. I'm Jesse Agler. It's official. The players know it. He knows it. And so now what?
Let's play some ball.
Yeah.
But first of all, new look, new feel, new voice. Pat Murphy is the guy. How is he going to relate to the players, get a little bit more out of them? Because, quite frankly, everybody needs to look in the mirror. He's been in the chain since 2010 as a special assistant. He knows the game of baseball. It's how the players are going to respond right now. Hopefully they kick it off today in a good fashion.
Here's what Pat Murphy said this morning about how he hopes to approach managing this ball club.
It's got to be genuine. It's got to be real. And they know my heart, and they know that the love that's in my heart for them, and that develops over time. And I think they'll realize they're safe and can have some clarity and go play.
Well, for those that don't know you and your managing style, what is your voice?
I'm not real sure. I'm direct. I'm going to go after it. And I'm probably not going to shy away from confrontation. So I don't know if it's different. I don't know how to describe it, to be honest with you, but it's probably going to be pretty direct.
All right, that's Pat Murphy, the interim manager for the remainder of the season for the Padres. Today, of course, also the anniversary of the passing of Padre legend Tony Gwynn. And when we come back, we will reflect on the greatness of Mr. Padre. Getting ready for baseball. Game 2 between the Padres and the A's from Petco Park. San Diego Lexus dealer. By Petco, what we feed them matters. By Budweiser, make a plan to make it home. And by Mercury Insurance. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today and see how much you could save.
Welcome back to San Diego. On this date, June 16th, it marks the one-year anniversary since Tony Gwynn's passing. And as fans did last year, they came to pay their respects, leaving flowers and cards at the memorial. I spoke to a few of the players, and they all still say they can't believe it's been 1 year since they lost Mr. Padre.
Crazy that it's been a year already. It's still talk about him all the time. In touch with the family and stuff. So I know it'll be a special day today.
Being Mr. Padre and being from San Diego, he's one of the guys that you always think about. Him and him and Eddie, they're both gone with us now, but those are two guys that I've always thought of as. When I grew up watching those guys play, it's definitely a weird. Because you think San Diego, you think Tony Gwynn.
And, of course, there's no better way to honor Mr. Padre than with their play. We're getting ready for baseball when we come back on Fox Sports San Diego.
One year has passed since San Diego lost its beloved hero. Although our city still mourns the loss of Tony Gwynn, his legacy shall always remain. Tony was a master of the art of hitting, brilliant with a bat, the result of his tireless work ethic.
I'm a big believer in whatever you want. If you want something out of this game, you got to put the work in. You got to work hard. My father said, if you work hard, good things will happen. And boy, oh boy, he was absolutely right. I worked hard in the game because I had to.
Today we take time to say thank you, Tony. Thank you for playing the game the only way you knew how, with passion, with pride, and with loyalty. We dearly miss you, Tony Gwynn.
1 year ago today, June 16th, 2014, San Diego lost Tony Gwynn at the age of 54.
Very difficult even to come to the booth these days because Tony sat between us and we laughed, we talked baseball, and he is dearly missed each and every day he come to this ball yard.
20 years in a Padre uniform, over 2,400 games. Game 1 for Pat Murphy. As a big league manager, he has taken the lineup card out, and the A's lineup is brought to you by Hyundai. A little bit different than what we saw last night from Oakland. They're shuffling some guys around. Stephen Vogt, the catcher, who hit the grand slam and drove in 5 last night, gets the day off today after the night game. And Bob Melvin, along with Billy Beane and that Oakland front office, penning this starting 9. But the guy at the top of the order, very familiar, Billy Burns.
And on the mound for the San Diego Padres, right-hander Andrew Cashner. The scouting report, something like this. We know he's got a good two-seam fastball, and he can throw that above 95 miles an hour with great location and execute the slider. Stay on top of that slider. Hopefully see a wipeout slider today from Andrew Cashner.
2-8 record with a 4.16 ERA, looking for his first win at Petco Park this season. Cashner in his career here in downtown San Diego has been outstanding. A 2.28 ERA, but yet to win in 2015. And the first pitch of the afternoon misses to Burns, 1-0. See Austin Hedges behind the plate here this afternoon, getting a rare start, although he and Andrew Cashner have become semi-regular battery mates. Cash delivers the first strike of the day.
The one thing I like about Austin Hedges behind the plate and with Andrew Cashner on the mound, Andrew has such great velocity on that two-seam fastball with a lot of movement. Austin Hedges has the ability to stick that pitch and not bring that pitch out of the strike zone. A lot of catchers will bring that glove down and out of the zone.
That one's lined to short, no problem for Clint Barmas, as Billy Burns lines to the left side for the first out of the day. Padre defense is brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. You just saw the shortstop making the nice play there. Hey, Melvin Upton Jr. making his third start in a Padre uniform. He is bracketed by his brother and that guy, Matt Kemp. Will Middlebrooks over at third base. Spangenberg at second, Alonso at first. And we mentioned Austin Hedges making his 8th career start, 5 of which now have come with Andrew Cashner on the hill. Shortstop Eric Sogard fouls that one away, 0-2.
Be interesting to see this afternoon. Andrew Cashner tries to pound the zone with that fastball and basically say, quote, prove to me you can hit my heater, end quote, and then adjust from there. Eric Sogard so late on that last fastball.
That one also fouled away at 95 from Cashner. Sogard at shortstop this afternoon. Saw him at second base last night, giving a day off to Marcus Semien, who's played about as many games as anybody in all of baseball. Cash tries to finish him off, and that one is popped up on the right side. Around the bag, Alonso makes the catch, 2 away for Andrew Cashner. As we take a look at Mark's keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
I'm going to stay real simple today. Avoid the big inning. Remember last night, the grand slam by Sogard, the swinging A's. They were swinging it all right. 3 runs in the 3rd, 5 in the 8th, and win one for Murph. First day as manager, named interim today. Of course, it's a big day for all of us who missed Tony Gwynn. The 1-year anniversary of his passing. Tough day, but as Tony would say, hey, let's play a game. Let's play some ball.
Josh Reddick takes strike 1 from Cashner, who's got some good velo on the fastball here early on.
Velo being short for velocity.
There you go. On the ground to the right side, Spangenberg had him played well, and Reddick grounds out to end a really nice and quick 1-2-3 top of the first for Andrew Cashner. Go coming to bat, and we want to let you know that in today's game, we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every Padre homer in this game will raise $12,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by going online to homerunchallenge.org. homerunchallenge.org. Padres starting lineup today is brought to you by Toyota. Melvin Upton Jr. collected his first hit in a Padre uniform last night, and he's leading off for the first time in a San Diego uniform. Alonso, Justin Upton, Kemp, Middlebrooks, Barmes up in the 6th hole. Spangenberg, Hedges, and the pitcher, Andrew Cashner. 31-year-old Scott Kazmir, 3-4 on the year with a 2.79 ERA, coming off probably his best start of the season. Melvin Upton Jr., a pinch hit single in the 7th last night. He also stole a base, and we've seen that a couple of times here in his first week plus as a Padre.
Scott Kazmir has only faced the Padres once before, but totally different lineup, totally different look from the left-hander. Nice, smooth, easy delivery from the veteran. It's his 5th organization. Started out with the Mets in the minor leagues, then went to Tampa Bay, but this guy was supposed to be the cat's meow, right, with the New York Mets.
15th overall pick in 2002, and they thought he was their next great southpaw. And it just never really panned out with New York.
The next Jerry Kuzman?
Sure. 1-2 to Melvin. He swings and misses. Kazmir strikes him out. 1 away.
And let's take a look at the scouting report for the left-handed veteran Scott Kazmir. Fastball, cutter, curveball, changeup. You know, at times he can be erratic, but if he finds that groove to pound the zone, he can do so with that 90 to 91 mile an hour fastball. If he needs a little extra, he can get it up to 94. And the scouting report is brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
You mentioned that erraticism, 28 walks, is tied for the 7th most in the American League. As Yonder Alonso steps in and fouls that one back. You saw the great numbers for Kazmir in that last start. He had lost 4 in a row. And then against Texas, he goes 8 innings and allows just the 1 hit.
We're going to have to keep an eye on. Remember that last fastball we saw against Melvin Upton Jr. inside part of the plate, swung on and missed? That's a big key, I think, for Kazmir, especially against the right-handed hitters.
When given the opportunity against left-handed pitching this year, Yonder's done a nice job, 9 for 25. And up here in the 2-hole in the batting order against the left-handed starter.
Hey, if you're going to be a left-handed regular in the lineup and you're swinging the bat extremely well, you're going to face those tough lefties. You're not going to get the day off. So you get more reps, more comfortable, and hopefully the numbers pan out.
Spoils a couple of nice pitches from Kazmir. Still 0-2 as you see the splits for Alonso. His 1 home run against a left-handed pitcher, the grand slam in Cincinnati.
That's hanging in there. That's keeping that front side tucked in there, using the big part of the field. Center field, left center field, going the other way. Hey, pull the ball when you can if it's soft and inside.
Lifts that one into center field for a base hit. And more success against the left-handed pitcher for Alonso. 1-out single and the first hit of the afternoon.
Watch the front side. Foot is down, hands are back, stays on it nicely, gets extended. That pitch is elevated the outer half. Throw the hips, throw the hands. Stay on it. Oh, and I love the ground ball. 2-hopper to the center fielder. 0-2 also. Had him 0-2.
Fouled off a couple of pitches and straightened that one out as Justin Upton stands in, leading the Padres in all 3 Triple Crown categories. Average, home runs, and RBIs. And he takes a fastball down by the feet, 1-0. Kazmir has done a nice job this season bearing down with men aboard. Opponents hitting 174. Justin takes low again, 2-0.
Tell you what, I'd like to see that race. Yonder Alonso, Billy Butler. I'm betting on Yo.
You could participate.
I could beat both those guys. I'm going on the record right now and saying I could beat both of them.
How many feet or
yards?
yards?
It's nothing personal.
About?
It's strictly business.
Foul down the right field line, out of play. 90 feet? Straight line? What are you talking about here?
No, steeplechase.
I was going to say like around the bases or.
I could cut the corner now too.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Just let me wear the pair of nails. I'll be cutting it.
Just the second start of the season for Butler over at first. He has been used, except for that one other time, exclusively as a DH for the A's. And Upton lifts that one well out to left center. Burns is going back, and on the warning track, he took it away. Another great catch, and it's probably going to be a double play. For the second time in the last couple of days, Justin Upton hit one to deep center field, and for the second time, he's robbed. Peterson over the weekend, and Billy Burns here today. The great running catch out in center field. They double off Yonder Alonso as he does his best Jock Peterson impersonation. Andrew Kashner back to work here in the second. Boy, Justin Upton, it's twice.
Yeah.
Going after the big part of the park. This is Ben Zobrist playing second base for Oakland this afternoon. He was in left field last night. And Kashner gets a call at the knees, 2-1.
That is unbelievable athletic ability, the jump on the baseball, the speed to get there, and the timing perfectly to snatch it back.
Zobrist was on base 5 times last night for Oakland. 4 walks and a single. Hits that one up the middle. Spangenberg ranging, throwing, and he got him. Nice job by Corey Spangenberg at second base. One away here in the top of the second.
If you're keeping score at home, put a little star next to your 4-3 in your scorebook. We know that Corey Spangenberg has great range to his left, great range to his right, and it's not just getting there, but how about throwing a P-Rod accurately to Alonso on the move? That is not an easy play.
Perfect throw, right tool.
That's a tool of the trade for Corey Spangenberg.
Oh, absolutely. Billy Butler.
Anyway, when you make that play going away, you better make sure you have that solid cannon, that arm to make up the difference. If it's got a little humpy hump in it, no chance.
Not a ton of starts as of late for Butler, who's behind in the count, 0-2. This is just the 3rd start in the last 7 games.
Nice slider we just saw as the man they call Bob Melvin, watches Butler's at bat.
Lays off.
Another breaking ball. Good spot, though, with 2 strikes. Trying to keep it down and away. How about inside here?
Just gets a piece of the 96-mile-per-hour heater.
So slider down and away, 84-ish. And then 96 in with movement. Good luck. Buena suerte.
Fouls off another pitch as they went back away. Butler just 3 for his last 27, hitting 175 this month, although he did have a pinch hit single in the 8th last night. And he hits that one well to right field. Kemp's not going to get there, but it's a foul ball. So Justin Upton, some tough luck in the bottom of the first. You got to go back to Sunday. What you thought was going to be a game-winning hit over Jock Peterson's head in the bottom of the 9th. And then in the first inning today, nope.
Just got to start pulling the ball. Huh? I'm kidding, of course. Nothing you can do there. You hit it well on the sweet spot. You put a good swing on it. Nothing you can control as far as defenders are concerned.
One of those where you just tip the cap to Billy Burns, right?
That's a good way of putting it. You bet.
He's had some highlight reel catches already this season, and he's continued it here. Butler's fought back to make it 3-2, and he draws a walk.
Well, Andrew had him 0-2, just couldn't put him away there, and Butler draws the walk.
Max Muncy, who was at first base last night, moves across the diamond to play third here today. Butler's at first. And now they've switched places. You can get in on your race.
Yeah.
Butler and Alonso.
Place your bets.
You're a regular American Pharaoh. Muncy was 1 for 15 before a 9th inning double last night. Most of his playing time this year has come at first base, making his 7th start at third here today. The A's expect to get Ike Davis back off the disabled list probably tomorrow, and you'll see plenty of him at first moving forward. Cashner ahead of Muncy, 0-2, as he was to Butler. We've discussed it in several of Cashner's starts this season. You love seeing him get off to a quick, good start, and that's a nice pitch. Tailing fastball, his first strikeout of the afternoon.
I love it when Andrew Cashner bounces back. He had Butler 0-2. He walked him. Frozen pizza to Max Muncy. I get choked up just talking about it.
There you go. Most runs allowed in the first third of a game. Andrew Cashner, most in baseball. So far, so good as the catcher Fegley stands in and fouls it back.
I'd have to say majority fastballs the first couple innings, which is a good sign. Once again, these Oakland A's cannot catch up to that fastball from Andrew Cashner.
For whatever it's worth, Andrew's been good in interleague contests. He had that one hitter against the Tigers last April. 8 starts against American League opponents in his career, 11 total games, and an ERA under 2.5. Sometimes that lack of familiarity can be a helpful thing for a pitcher. Doesn't get that call. 2-1. Fegley rusting Stephen Vogt, who's on the bench day game after night game. A's are in the middle of a stretch here where they'll go 8 straight games, night, day, night, day, night, day. How crazy is that?
That is crazy. That messes with the time clock.
Oh, yeah. Began over the weekend in Anaheim. Continues here. Will continue.
The body clock gets thrown out of whack there.
Very unusual bit of scheduling as that one is fisted over to Barmes on a hop. He gets the out at second base. And that's it for Oakland in the second. Andrew Cashner works around the walk. No problemo. Matt Kemp is coming up for the Padres as they look to get on the board against Scott Kazmir. and the A's.
Tuesday afternoon, and there's at least one player in the A's dugout who knows Pat Murphy very well. Eric Sogard played for him at Arizona State between 2005 2007. He was quoted as saying he was a great manager. He will test you though mentally, but if you come out on the other side, it really helps your self-esteem and it'll help you build your confidence, guys.
Chris, thank you very much. Yeah, Mud, there's a difference, right? You know, being a college coach and a minor league manager and a big league manager, and certainly Pat Murphy understands that. It'll be very interesting to sort of watch his development here in this new role.
Totally different mentality. You watch the College World Series. You watch any college baseball game. It's a rah-rah sport. Everybody's rah-rah, which is fine. But at the big league level, you're not going to have 25 guys doing that. You'll have your one or two cheerleaders, you know, the, quote, clowns on the bench. And believe me, I know all about that.
Yeah.
But you got to keep it light. I think Pat is a decent balance between that. Hey, he started the program basically at Notre Dame. It was a club sport. He turned it into a varsity sport at Notre Dame and was very successful. So that gives you a little bit about his passion for the game of baseball.
Spun that forward.
Speaking of clowns. That guy is a swinging A's fan.
Yeah, he is. I hope so, at least. If he's not, gonna have a conversation. Ball 2 strikes to Matt Kemp. Matt 0 for 3 with a walk in last night's game.
Okay, so this guy wakes up in the morning and says, "Hey, honey, you know what you're going to wear to the game?" "Yeah, I got my jersey, got my beads."
Yeah.
"Hey, honey, you almost ready to go?" "Well, let me take care of my mustache real quick and put my wig on, then I'll be ready to go."
I would imagine the face paint takes the longest of that whole operation.
It's probably pretty comfortable, too, when it gets all hot and humid.
Yeah, no, really. How else would you rather take in a big league game?
Looks like Oakland A's fan Gene Shalit.
He'll review movies for us between innings. But only Moneyball. It's the only movie he's going to review. Nice little battle here between Kemp and Kazmir, as will Middlebrooks.
Kazmir going changeup 2-2 to Matt Kemp. See if he goes soft again here with the full count.
Kemp rips that one, but caught at shortstop by Sogard. It was a fastball. Matt got around on it. 1 away.
Going into this series, we heard nothing but about the bad defense of the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
They made some good plays. Laurie last night at third base. Sogard takes away a knock from Matt Kemp. Billy Burns in center field, robbing Justin Upton. Somebody call the cops.
You've got a robbery to report?
You bet I do.
Simeon, the usual shortstop, getting the day off, and he's had all kinds of defensive problems. Sogard making a play in his absence, and that's strike one to Middlebrooks. There's Marcus Simeon, 22 errors this season, 8 more than anybody else in baseball. Ian Desmond and Chase Headley have each committed 14. On the ground at third, that's a foul ball. Pat Murphy, the interim manager, in his 6th season in the Padre organization, managing his first game at the big league level here. You see the recent success with the Chihuahuas, and before that the Tucson Padres at AAA. Also managed the Eugene Emeralds. Spent his first year with San Diego back in 2010 as a special advisor, and that strike 3 called. So a little bit of this and a little bit of that for Pat Murphy since he left Arizona State and joined the Padres.
Pat Murphy used to hitchhike from Syracuse, New York to Notre Dame on the weekends. Go see football games. Such a Fighting Irish fan. And when it got to the point one day to where he made the trip to South Bend and said to the athletic director, I'm going to be your guy to turn around this baseball program. And years later, he did just that.
Clint Barmas, 2 outs, nobody aboard. And he takes a breaking ball strike from Kazmir. Barmas pinch hit in the 9th inning last night. Sunday against the Dodgers. Drop down a sacrifice bunt. Kazmir ahead of him, 0-2. And that one is popped up to shallow center. Burns this time will come in. He's got it. And a quick inning for Scott Kazmir. No score after 2.
Playing basketball, we played basketball a little bit, and then he talked about, well, I bet you can't run. And I said, oh, yeah, I can run. And I remember he said, okay, let's break. We were right in front of his house in the street. And I said, okay, I'm going to take off my shoes. and I'm going to give you 10 yards.
Well, you're not the only one challenging people to races, Alicia Gwynn. And you can catch a very, very special SD Live coming up after the post-game show this afternoon. As you saw, Alicia Gwynn with Ted Leitner and Dick Enberg. We lost Tony a year ago today, and a full look back at his incredible career, his wonderful life.
It's always good to be reminded. And that's going to be a good one to watch.
Coming up after Padres Live, the post-game show. Definitely a reason to hang out on the couch and take some time today. Strike 3 called as Andrew Cashner collects his second punch out of the afternoon, freezes Sam Fuld, and that'll get the pitcher Kazmir to the plate.
Well, let's check it out. Good drive towards home plate. Fastball right there. You betcha. Mid-90s with movement. That's a great combination. And that equals a strikeout.
First at bat of the year for Scott Kazmir. Just the second interleague game the A's have played all season long. First was last night. Jesse Hahn was 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts as A's pitchers look for their first hit since 2013. It's not going to come on that swing. 0-2.
Put him away quickly right here.
Coming right after Kazmir, and he gets him. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the third for Andrew Cashner as we check in on our T-Mobile game changer, Billy Burns. We've talked a lot about his defense, but he's doing it with the bat also.
Good on-base percentage at .348 before today's game. American League rookie leaders, there you see him, Joey Butler from Tampa Bay. .308 batting average. Very nice.
He had a 12-game hitting streak that came to a close recently, and now he's hit in 6 in a row. And 18 of his last 19. More hits than any other rookie in the American League. And as we know all too well at this point, doing a good job out in center field. Came up in the Nationals system. They traded him to Oakland after the 2013 season. Burns made his major league debut last year, played just 13 games, and has now started 26 games out in center field for Oakland here in 2015. 2-1 from Cash.
That last pitch tells you a lot. Look at pitch number 4, right down the middle, 2-1 count. Fastball count. He got it, and he still couldn't catch up to it. Andrew Cashner's got the good life to the fastball. Here it is. Okay, you're a pitcher. You're behind in the count. 2-1. They'll challenge you with a 2-seamer. Still can't catch up to it.
Another good sign for Andrew Cashner as he delivers the 2-2, and it's wrapped over to first base. Yonder will take it himself. And a 1-2-3 inning for Andrew Cashner. A couple of strikeouts, and we go to the bottom of the third.
trying to help somebody, be great and somebody do special things in their career. That's always been my biggest thrill, is watching one of my former players. If Dustin hits a line drive to right in a game, I find myself like, and people will say to me, "Look at you," like I love seeing guys that maybe I had that much to do with succeed. It's something I found out that I really enjoy.
Corey Spangenberg trying to bunt his way on, but a nice play behind the dish by Fegley, and one away here in the bottom of the third inning.
Well, the defense, again, we've talked about it prior to this series. Nice job by Fegley, the catcher, getting out there and creating that throwing lane and throwing from down under accurately to get that first out. That's a nice play.
Pat Murphy enjoying the development of guys that he's coached or managed. You heard him allude there to Dustin Pedroia, who he coached at Arizona State, and the excitement he feels. Literally rubs his hands together when he talks about Pedroia doing something good. And right, as a coach, as a developer, a manager, it's got to be no better feeling than seeing your guys have success.
Absolutely, no question about it. And like he said, even if it's just a little part of their career or a little part of their maturing into an adult that's helped along the way, it's got to make them feel good.
A couple of hits and 25 at-bats for Austin Hedges so far this season. 8th career start for the young backstop. And he spoils that high fastball. Still 0-2. Hedges, of course, spent some time around Pat Murphy with the El Paso Chihuahuas before he was called up.
Hey, I want to correct myself if I could.
Yeah, sure.
Notre Dame baseball was a varsity sport for a long time. I was wrong at that statement. I just want to correct myself. It just didn't have the notoriety.
Gotcha.
It had a span in the 40s and 50s of some good recognition, but then it kind of fell by the wayside, and Pat Murphy went into the late 80s and turned it around. So it's been a varsity sport for a long time. I stand corrected.
At Notre Dame during that time, he coached current Brewer manager Craig Counsell, among others.
Yeah.
Success at Notre Dame, then on to Arizona State.
Carl Yastrzemski, Notre Dame.
They set up inside on Hedges and leave it over the plate, and it's out to left. And it's back. And it's gone. First big league homer for Austin Hedges.
Tried to go inside, but you could see that Fegley had to reach across the heart of the plate. I'll tell you what, Austin Hedges was called up to the big leagues because he could throw runners out. He can frame pitches. He can block balls, but he has shown now he can turn on a fastball. Nicely done, Austin Hedges, and congratulations.
22-year-old Austin Hedges, second-round pick in the 2011 draft. Made his first big league start May 4th at San Francisco. And he hits his first major league homer here this afternoon against Scott Kazmir.
Got to get that ball back for the trophy case. Sure, they can negotiate.
Just the 4th hit this season by a Padre backup catcher. 2 of them have left the yard. Will Nieves had that grand slam against the Giants. A's pitchers have done such a good job keeping the ball in the yard. But Hedges gets to Kazmir as Andrew Kashner's making him work.
Oh, here we go. Somewhere in that crowd is Scott Boras.
Inside and 3-2. Little negotiation taking place.
Yeah, Elite doing their work. Try to take care of the customer. I'm sure we could work things out.
Full count to Cashner, and he takes strike 3. So Casimir comes back and strikes out the pitcher Cashner after the home run by Hedges. That's a good moment. All right, we've got the ball. Oh, he's got 2. This could get complicated. Uh-oh. Melvin Upton Jr. takes a breaking ball outside. Melvin hitting out of the leadoff spot for the first time in his 3rd start as a Padre. Swings and misses, 1-1. He's seen Scott Casimir a little bit. Now 2 for 5 against the Oakland lefty in his career with a home run. That's a 400 average. Hedges is like, I'm hitting 1,000 against him.
That's a big league dinger.
Swing and a miss. Let's check in with Chris.
Well, Jesse, talk about love seeing success from your guys. Look at that big hug between Mark Kotsay and Austin Hedges. The two of them have been working together throughout the offseason since January. Says that Kotsay has played a big role in his hitting success over the season.
That's awesome, Chris. And that's exactly what Pat Murphy was talking about. Upton lays off 3-2. That feeling as a coach, a teacher, when you see it all pay off.
I remember having a pitching coach by the name of Pat Dobson, late great pitching coach Pat Dobson. And one word that he used, progress. See progression.
And that misses. Sorry, ball 4.
Whether it's a pitch, whether it's an inning, whether it's an outing. See progress. That just makes coaches and managers just shine. Shaka.
Pretty good seat out there.
Yeah. Not a bad seat in the house, Jesse.
It's true. Yonder singled his first time up. He was doubled off by Billy Burns, who made an incredible running catch over the fence on Justin Upton. Melvin Upton on first base after drawing the 2-out walk. And Yonder hits that one well, but right to Billy Butler. Another nice defensive play by the Oakland A's. No defense, though, could help out against Austin Hedges. Took it out to left center field, his first big league home run. And the Padres are on top, 1-0. Brought to you by Geico. This one was great. July 13th, 1999, the All-Star Game at Fenway Park. Tony Gwynn and Ted Williams with the honorary first pitch as Eric Sogard flies out to Melvin Upton for the first out on just one pitch here in the fourth inning. That's a lot of hits, Ted Williams and Tony Gwynn.
Oh, man. I'll never forget watching that All-Star Game as Mr. Williams, the splendid splinter, was carted to the mound. And as they announced him, the greatest hitter of all time. Wow.
Good week and a half for Reddick. But Cashner ahead of him, 0-2, 96 on that fastball. Reddick among the American League leaders in average, on base percentage, slugging. 0-2 from Cash, and in the air again to center field. Melvin is there. 2 away. Closed captioning for this afternoon's game is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Quick couple of outs for Cash here in the fourth.
Major mess up on my part yesterday.
Really?
Yes.
I don't believe it.
And I'm not ashamed to bring it up.
Okay.
Remember we were talking about players who wore glasses?
Sure.
In the past?
Yeah.
How could we forget number 9, Reggie Jackson, for the Swingin' A's?
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
No, that's us. That's a team mistake.
I mean, the A's are in town, and Reggie? How could we forget that? I forget that. It's all on me.
No. I'll take some of the blame. That's a good one.
Well, Mark Sweeney's down by the Padre dugout, and Mark, I apologize.
Well, you don't need to apologize. I mean, we forget things every day. Obviously, we
trying to have some fun with you, Mark.
Yeah. So am I. I'm enjoying myself too. I wish I had goggles at times.
There were some times when I did some things that looked like I was looking through some goggles.
Yeah. Me too.
Zobrist grounded out to Spangenberg, who made a nice play back in the second inning. Sunglasses for Ben Zobrist.
And, of course, probably one of the most famous is Ricky Vaughn.
Sure. Well, that's really where it all turned around for him.
Right.
He was having trouble with his control, and it was really just a simple issue of not being able to see. You couldn't slip anything past Lou Brown, one of the great managers in baseball history. Another 1-2-3 for Andrew Cashner. He's set down 11 in a row. Billy Burns with a sensational catch against Justin Upton. He ran 93.1 feet to take that one away, and deja vu all over again for Upton as Alonso was doubled off back in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, and it's just not the Padres that Billy Burns is taking away big hits. He's doing all around Major League Baseball, and the word travels quickly. He can cover some ground. He's got a good glove. He's got some leaping ability as well.
Second at bat now for Justin Upton. Hey, you corrected yourself a moment ago. I'd like to do the same. I said at the end of the top of this inning that Cashner had retired 11 in a row. Sometimes I don't count so good. It's 8.
So well?
I speak well. I don't count good.
Mark Sweeney, do you have anything to apologize for?
I'd like to correct myself for the whole year of making so many mistakes. But as we're doing this, I feel very comfortable.
It's cleansing, isn't it?
It is. It's very cleansing.
It's like confession for baseball. Outside Upton, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Mark Sweeney, Andrew Cashner, and you're sitting down there for the last half inning, but it seems to me he's being very aggressive with the fastball today, and that's very, very good news.
Yeah, and I love the movement, too, on the fastball. At the beginning of the year, we saw the Dodgers start. He was pitching upwards to 98, 99 miles an hour, and it's not moving as much. When he backs off just a little bit, in my estimation, he adds a lot more movement, gets off the barrel of the bat. He's going to have some mistakes at times, but I love him today, like you're talking about. Aggressive with the fastball.
Yeah, that first inning, Mark, 1, 2, 3, was nothing but fastballs from Andrew. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think a lot of people need to understand, too, velocity at this level. A lot of people don't worry about that if it doesn't move that much. But the movement plus the velocity adds to an uncomfortable at bat.
Can add the A's to the long list of teams that Justin Upton has good numbers against in his career. Trying to fight with Kazmir here and a 1 ball 2 strike count. Mark Sweeney is a hitter. Went over the course of 3 days, twice. You get robbed defensively. What do you say to yourself?
Well, I think the emotions around first base really speak volumes to what goes on.
That one is grounded through for a base hit to left. Mark Grant said, hey, just pull the ball. There you go. It's got to be frustrating, Mark Sweeney.
Yeah, and you know what? When you square a ball up, you expect it to be a hit, if not a home run, when it comes down to Justin Upton. But consistency, and you're seeing that intent in the swings of Justin Upton. Yes, that's a single, but that is a well-struck single to left field.
Kemp hit the ball well himself his first time up, but a nice leaping grab by Sogard at shortstop. Matt has appeared in all but 1 game for the Padres this season.
Well, hopefully the Padres can get to Kazmir. I think you mentioned it earlier, Jesse, but he's not done too well on the road this season. A 1-3 record, an ERA of 4.29. Hopefully second time around and get something going against the lefty.
Yeah, been much better at the Coliseum. Opponent's batting average at home for Kazmir, 148. On the road, 285.
It's one of those conundrums.
Sure.
It's tough to figure out.
A's have a few conundrums. As Kemp fouls that one away. We discussed last night they've got that great run differential, plus 23 now.
Unbelievable.
After the win last night, but the worst record in the American League.
Well, when I look at those numbers, and Bob Melvin's got to be scratching his head as well, but it seems like they win big and lose close.
Yeah.
These Oakland Athletics. And last night's game is evident of that.
Busted it open late as they try and bust Kemp inside. And you said it, when they win big. But those close games, those 1-run games, look at that, 4-18. Far and away the worst winning percentage in baseball in 1-run games.
An interesting set of signs right there by Bob Melvin. Now, the reason why I say that, let you know after this pitch.
In the air to right, down the line, Reddick coming over, but he won't have a play.
It'd be interesting to see if we look at Bob Melvin again. See how he's using 2 fingers with his nose, chin, cap, ear. I'm wondering if at times he mixes that up, uses 1 finger, maybe the index finger, or does he always use 2 fingers? The reason why I say that is because Mark Sweeney could chime into this as well. You know, there'll be a hot hand. See how he's using he used the whole hand.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one is a decoy, maybe one is hot, maybe one is not. But believe me, managers mix it up big time, so you can't pick up signs.
Kemp chases, he strikes out. Fourth of the day for Kazmir, one away.
Kazmir going to the changeup. Down and away to Matt Kemp. Good arm action and perfectly placed as well. And when you throw a good changeup, chances are you're going to get a swing like that. That's just a tough pitch to hit and pick up.
So we've seen Melvin give signs with one finger, with two fingers, with the whole palm. Will Middlebrook stands in, and he hits one into center field for a base hit. Justin Upton digging hard, trying to go first to third. Burns will not make a throw, and some good aggressive base running by Justin Upton. He never slowed down, and he makes it all the way to third base.
Mark Sweeney, you've mentioned it many times before, but being aggressive on the bases and reading the outfielders and the way the ball is struck, what do you see on this play?
Well, the ball's not hit too well by Will Middlebrooks, and when it's coming in, your read is how many steps he has to field the baseball. But with one out, an aggressive style of running for Justin Upton, that's a great situation, knowing the scoreboard and the situation of advancing to third.
That gets Clint Barmas to the plate. And he had a sacrifice against the Dodgers the other night, and he's got a base hit and an RBI here. 2-0 Padres.
Perfect play drawn up in the head of Clint Barmas. So many things going on in this play. First of all, Clint Barmas, good bat control. Secondly, look how far back at third. Thirdly, Upton at third base, good speed. And how about a four-time Billy Butler? Billy Butler at first base, he doesn't have good range. All it boils down to is a race to the bag. Perfectly placed by Barmas. Perfectly executed.
Good, smart veteran play from a good, smart veteran player. He extends the hitting streak. And, yeah, the second baseman, Zobrist, it's not that he wasn't trying to get there.
Right.
He just had a long way to run. So the Padres add to their lead here in the fourth. And they're still going with Corey Spangenberg coming up. Spangy tried to bunt for a base hit in his first at bat, and a pretty good one. And he's been swinging it well the last 7 games. Has a hit in each of his last 7 starts, playing a lot more consistently now with Jed Jerko at AAA El Paso. Kazmir's been the guy for the A's most of this season to not get much run support. They gave him 7 runs in his last game. The day he goes 8 innings and allows 1 hit, he gets 7 runs of support.
Yeah.
In his previous 9 starts, he got a total of 9 runs.
Hey. Sounds familiar, huh? These parts?
Andrew Kashner's nodding his head. Yeah, I know that. Know all about it. Barmas and Middlebrooks, the base runners. And that's a strike right on the outside corner to Spangenberg. 1-1. Always ready to hit. Kashner in the hole. James Shields getting pretty good run support most of this season. Not the case for Cash, although the Padres have gotten him a pair and are looking for more. Talked to James Shields about it earlier this year, and he just kind of laughed. He goes, hey, I've been the guy that gets all the support. I've been the guy that gets none of the support. It always varies.
There's always that one guy.
Last night for Oakland, Jesse Hahn was the guy who's had all the errors behind him. Cash has been that guy for the Padres. And there you go. He only needs a couple.
Be aware of that breaking ball in the dirt.
Guys, let's take it back to Josh Phegley in the first pitch of this sequence to Corey Spangenberg. It's the slider, and the slider's in the dirt. Josh Phegley is trying to pick this ball rather than block the baseball. That goes into the minds of the Padre base runners, because if a catcher's trying to pick that ball, that's an opportunity for them to advance an extra base.
Not the fundamentally sound way to handle that situation. Nice observation. And a nice take by Spangenberg, 2-2. Phegley's gotten about half the workload behind the plate for the A's. Stephen Vogt, the most everyday catcher, resting on this day game after night game. Did he hold up? He did not. Fifth strikeout for Scott Kazmir, as the third base umpire Mike DeMuro says he went.
Oh, it looked like a breaking ball down and away, and yeah, he went. It's tough to hold back on that. To get that shillelagh going.
Last time up for Austin Hedges. Scott Kazmir left one over the plate, and he deposited it over the fence for his first Major League homer. A milestone dinger. First and second, 2 away. And strike 1 to Austin Hedges. Is he still on cloud 9, or do you got to come down a little bit?
I think, knowing Austin a little bit, the way he goes about his business, I think he's erased that. I think his baseball IQ is so high up there that he doesn't dwell on the past, whether it's positive or negative. And it'll be interesting to see how Kazmir goes after him, as that breaking ball is in the dirt. And Mark Sweeney mentioned earlier, Phegley doing a better job of getting in a position of that ball in the dirt, keeping it in front of him. It's a good mentality to have in any sport. You're only as good as your blank.
Last at bat.
Exactly.
Last pitch.
Last shot.
Whatever it is. It's that one hard, but foul.
Guys, you watch Austin Hedges, and some of the things that you have to work on is not necessarily mechanically. It's slowing the game down. What makes it very difficult, Austin Hedges in the minor leagues played almost every day unless he needed a day off. So now you're seeing that challenge of a young player trying to not get many at-bats and still maintain that calmness in the batter's box.
Yeah, it's a great point. Last year at AA San Antonio, played 113 games. Was the everyday guy.
Yeah, and he's not facing Scott Kazmir's down there either.
No.
And to that point, Mark, too, not facing the tough pitchers, that just adds anxiety. And anxiety transfers into that quickness, and you see him getting out of the strike zone, taking some awkward swings at times, but you have to deal with that, and that communication factor in between at bats with the coaching staff and Hedges is very, very important.
Couple of DH opportunities the next couple of days in Oakland as Hedges goes down swinging, and who knows, maybe an opportunity for Hedges to keep playing. Another run for the Pods.
kind of moments where, you get your little kindergarten diploma from your teacher, and, she goes around and says, you're most likely to be a doctor, you're most likely to be a fireman, a police officer, whatever. And my turn came up, and she said, you're definitely most likely to become a Major League Baseball player. That's all he talks about.
James Shields' teacher, she knew exactly what she was talking about, and tomorrow night you can learn a lot more about James Shields and how he got to this point. Big day of Padres tomorrow on Fox Sports San Diego, the game in Oakland against the Athletics. Then you got the post-game show, the spotlight on James Shields, and then that SD Live that will premiere after today's game with Alicia Gwynn, Dick Enberg, and Ted Leitner.
And you know what? We know about the fastball, changeup, curveball of James Shields. It's a great opportunity to get to know James a little bit more in depth out of the clubhouse and off the field. So good stuff coming your way right here on Fox Sports San Diego. And why he likes to wear the hoodie.
Great personality, and he's been a fun guy to have injected into the clubhouse as Butler grounds that one to third. More than enough time for Will Middlebrooks. One away here in the fifth.
Number 50, Max Muncy.
Muncy, the third baseman for the A's, struck out looking his first time up. Cash in his last start on Thursday in Atlanta had just one strikeout pitching into the seventh inning. He's got 3 here this afternoon. Muncy takes low, and Mark Sweeney. Get a look at Pat Murphy managing his first game as a big league manager, and got to know him obviously the last couple of years a little bit, particularly in spring training. Your thoughts?
Well, I think Pat Murphy is looking forward to this opportunity. I always get excited for people's first, and obviously being the first in the big leagues. He's worked his butt off in the coaching ranks to get this opportunity, and unfortunately it comes with different circumstances, but I think Pat Murphy is ready for this, and hopefully guys can buy in to Pat Murphy as a manager and trust him, which I think is very important.
When you say trust, from a player's standpoint, what does that mean with a manager?
Well, it takes time. I think everyone right now understands they have to individually be better, but collectively, you lean on your leader. And I think everyone is going to look at Pat Murphy and say, this is our guy now. How is he going to benefit and set us into positions where we can succeed?
3-1 to Muncy's hit well out to right field. Kemp trying to chase it down, and on the track he's not going to get there as it bounces off the wall. Muncy into second base with a double. That is the first hit for the Oakland Athletics.
And the sound of that ball off the bat, I didn't realize it was going to travel that far. It sounded like it got in on him or off the end as we take a look, maybe towards the end a little bit. And this ball hits the fence. Well, maybe it was just that first sound that didn't sound so well, but that one sounded okay. Hit it better than I thought.
So Cash had gone the first 4 1/3 without allowing a hit. 1 out double by Muncy. He's in scoring position as the catcher Fegley stands in. A's had a lot of opportunities with men in scoring position last night, a game they would win 9-1. 23 at bats last night with runners in scoring position, and the A's got hits 8 times. Fegley hits that one into shallow right. Kemp trying to square it up. He does. Muncy goes back to second base as we check on the Cholula flamethrower.
Well, the Andrew Castor on the hill. Pump it up. Mark Sweeney, we're talking 98. What's that?
Are you kidding me? That's hot sauce. Yeah, there it is. Cholula. Do you know where I can find a fish taco, by the way, guys?
I'll let you know. Stay tuned. ...
Sam Fuld about to face the hot sauce of Andrew Cashner with 2 outs and a man on second.
That's muy picante.
CC. Bolt takes, and that one's at 95, but a little away. Bolt struck out looking in his only at bat.
Hey, Andrews made some good pitches going out of the stretch. He walked a hitter, that was Butler, in the second. So making some good pitches here after that hit.
Pulled it an interesting year last year. Began the season with Oakland. Twins claimed him off waivers. Then they returned him to the A's at the trade deadline. He's also played with Tampa Bay and the Cubs. And there's a strike.
Good slider. Backdoor variety.
A little bit high with the fastball there. 2-2. Muncy, the runner at second base. He doubled for the first hit of the day for the A's with one out here in the fifth. And that is inside, ball 4. This afternoon's game is presented in HD by Sony 4K.
And with 2 outs, it didn't look like Andrew Kasher wanted to give much to Sam Fold, so he will go after Scott Kazmir.
He's being forced to play in National League ballpark with National League rules. The scene will shift tomorrow and Thursday afternoon when they meet at the Coliseum in Oakland. There will be a DH.
You know, Mark, I really love your idea of changing the designated hitter. Your designated hitter here in National League clubs, and also when you go up to Oakland, not having the DH. I think it's good for the fans to see it. They need something that changes, because I think that it's run its course.
Yeah, you know what? That wasn't my idea. It was a buddy of mine who we were talking last road trip, and I like the idea too, Mark. Gives the hometown fans a different look at the other league in your ballpark.
Yeah, you were saying it last night, and my response was, as someone who doesn't like either interleague play nor the designated hitter, at least switch it up. You know, give the Petco fans an opportunity to see the DH when an American League team is here, and give the AL fans an opportunity to see the pitcher hit in their park, which doesn't happen very often.
And guys, you know what? I grew up in Boston, so I saw American League baseball for so long, and you understand that side of the game. And then I spent my whole career in the National League. It's just one of those things that you need to see both sides and evaluate the game the way it is because of that stuff.
Cash trying to finish off Kaz. 97, but inside, 2-2. Tommy Malone, the last Oakland pitcher to have a hit over 2 years ago in Milwaukee. The 2-2. And he rips it fair down the line. Run's going to come in as Justin Upton retrieves it. And Scott Kazmir, the pitcher, drives in the first run of the afternoon for the A's.
Well, I think that's an example, and Mark Sweeney's talked about this all the time, letting the power come from the pitcher. I mean, Kazmir is swinging to right, and that ball goes to left, so behind, just over the bag, according to Mike DeMuro at third base. Just getting that bat head out towards the outside part of home plate. Manager Pat Murphy is out to discuss with the home plate umpire Tripp Gibson. And as Pat Murphy goes back to the dugout, pitching coach Darren Balsley has a chat with Andrew. And Dave Roberts was on the phone to the clubhouse. As we take another look at this ball. This ball is hit really hard. A hop before the bag. And according to, now it's not where it lands. After the first hop, it landed in foul territory. But according to Mike DeMuro, that ball went over the bag. So therefore a fair ball from his vantage point.
for Scott Kazmir. His second career run batted in. And Burns, with 2 outs, takes strike 1 from Cashner. In the air to right. Kemp's got a long way to run. Coming over. Can't get there, and it's going to get all the way past him. The A's have tied the game, and they're going to take the lead. Kazmir's being waved home. Into third base is Burns. And it's a 2-run triple.
Let's see where Andrew wanted this pitch. Looked like a slider or something. It definitely moved down, whether it was a changeup or a slider. Anyway, Burns gets it out front. Now, Matt Kemp, I don't know whether he thought that ball wasn't hit as hard, but he went straight beeline to the right and then all of a sudden tried to veer off a little bit to cut it off. By that time, too late. And with the speed of Burns, got triple written all over it.
Sogard takes low, 2 balls and a strike. Andrew Cashner had 2 outs. Runners on first and second, and the pitcher Kazmir at the plate. He singled the other way to drive in a run, and Burns followed with the triple. And that one's hit hard, but right to Spangenberg at second base. Oakland, though, scores 3 runs on 3 hits, and they lead 3-2. Brought to you by Sequan Casino, only 25 miles from Petco Park. By Jack in the Box, try the new Double Jack today, only at Jack in the Box. And by Kona Brewing Company. One life, right? Don't blow it. Mahalo. Pat Murphy managing a big league game for the first time. Came out to exchange lineup cards before this one. And the fans here on a Tuesday afternoon watching Andrew Cashner and Scott Kazmir do battle. Oakland now with a 3-2 lead after Kazmir and Burns drive in some runs in the top half of the 5th. And remember, if you haven't voted for your favorite Padres yet, we've got a new National League ballot update. Derek Norris and Justin Upton are both in the mix, but they still need your votes. So fill out your 2015 All-Star Game ballot and support your Padres. Vote for these All-Stars up to 35 times. Go to Padres.com/vote or use the MLB.com at-bat app.
Manager Pat Murphy having a discussion with Austin Hedges as Andrew Kashner digs in against Kazmir. He wanted to leave on that one.
Cash struck out looking his first time up, and he tries to bunt for a base hit. He pushes it to third. Muncy charging, and he makes a nice play. We've seen Cash do that a number of times over the years. One away.
Number 2, Melvin Upton Jr.
Trade deadline coming up about 6 weeks from now, and certainly you're already starting to hear Scott Kazmir's name, and you'll probably hear it a few more times.
No question about it. A veteran left-hander with Oakland out of the race, as we mentioned it, with their record. Worst record in baseball. 10.5 games out in the American League West. Hey, the scouts are here. They've got the stopwatches. They're watching closely, filling out their reports.
Melvin Upton Jr. walked his last time up. Struck out first go round. And he rolls that one. And Kazmir throws it away. Probably going to be another Oakland error.
Well, let's take a look. Squibb, now the race is on. Melvin Upton Jr. up the line, and Kazmir works underneath it a little bit and cannot make the throw. Padres got to take advantage of that. Even though Melvin was running inside the lane there, the line, it doesn't matter because the throw did not hit the runner. He airmails that one, E1.
Oakland's had all kinds of defensive issues this year. So a man aboard for Yonder Alonso. Kazmir hits the outside corner, 0-1. See Melvin Upton Jr. steal a couple of bases in his short time with the Padres.
You know, if I'm a pitcher in that situation when Upton was going down the line there, and I know I probably can get a chance to throw him out, and he's running inside the lane, I'm going to throw it right at his back, because then they're going to bang him. Mark Sweeney is down by the first base dugout. Mark Sweeney, what do you got?
Well, for Billy Butler, the first baseman, you have to communicate because you know it's a very tough play, especially for the left-hander. You want to go on the outside, the foul territory, and voice it so he can actually go past that foul line and throw and have a throwing lane in there. But that's a communication that you have to have from the first baseman to the pitcher.
Time called just before Kazmir delivers that pitch. So no pitch. Good stolen base percentage in his career. Certainly more than capable of swiping a bag or two. Or 246. And he goes, and Kazmir tries to pick him off, and he beats the throw to second base. And he may have a challenge here as Bob Melvin goes to the top step of the dugout. Close play at second. For now, Melvin Upton Jr. is in scoring position.
It's that first move. You have to commit with the left-hander. As soon as that leg comes up, you are off and running. You have two choices. Commit all the way stop, get caught in a pickle. A very close play at second base. Butler creates the throwing lane. Pretty good throw. Oh boy, looks from there. He's out.
I'm not sure Sogard got the tag on the foot. I think he missed and kind of ended up on the ankle right after Upton slid in there. But no challenge from Bob Melvin. Upton at second base, and Yonder in a good spot here. Outside. 1-1. And he wants to talk things over with the catcher, Fegley.
Yeah, better be on the same page with that runner on second base. You do not want to get crossed up. Boy, with Sogard playing nearly behind the runner, Upton Jr. at second base. Big hole on that left side between third and short. Now he's backing up a little bit.
Alonso hits it to the right side. Zobrist going over. Will throw him out as Upton goes to third base. New NL All-Star game ballot update today. Buster Posey back on top of Yadier Molina behind the dish. Game coming up on July 14th in Cincinnati, and Padre fans got some work to do.
Got to vote for Upton. Justin Upton. He's got to get in there. And I have a gripe with the All-Star voting. You want to hear my gripe?
Does it involve the Kansas City Royals?
No, it involves outfielders.
Okay. You want one for each position as opposed to just three outfielders?
If you go by the number of games you have played up until that point. So if you're the leader, you take all the guys who played left field in the games played, right? It's just not three left fielders with the most votes. There's a right fielder, a center fielder, and a left fielder.
Doesn't bother me.
Okay, well then 4 infielders. Let's have 4 first basemen play out there. Let's have Adrian Gonzalez play first. Paul Goldschmidt play second. Freddie Freeman play short. And we'll have...
outfielders move around, though, generally, right? Like more frequently
I don't like
than
it.
infielders.
Mark Sweeney, what do you think?
Well, it all has to do with center field. I mean, if you think about that, not many people can play center field. They can put a glove on and go out there, but patrolling that much territory, I'm on your side, Mud.
I see your point. Trying to steal home, and a balk.
Nice.
How about that? Tie game. Well, we've had a little bit of everything this afternoon.
You know, we talk about pitchers disrupting the timing of hitters. How about base runners disrupting the timing as Casimir goes in, then he steps off. That's a balk. He was going from the full windup. As soon as he started that windup, Upton is off and running, and the back foot comes off the rubber. Once you start that delivery from the windup, you have to continue in contact with the rubber. He did not do that.
And now Justin will ground it back to Casimir, but the Padres tie the game. A balk on an attempt of a stolen base at home. 3-3. Jr. on third base with 2 outs, trying to steal home, and Scott Kazmir was all kind of crossed up, and he ends up balking, allowing Melvin to score. And so let me ask you a question, Mark Grant. Is this coming from Pat Murphy? Is this coming from the dugout?
It very well might be. You never know. You've got a lot of factors going on out there. You got the lefty with his back turned going from the windup. You got speed on third base. Why not try to disrupt that? We talk about pitchers disrupting the hitter's timing. Well, base runners can do the same thing, and it worked right there.
Earlier in the game, Clint Barmas had that safety squeeze as Josh Reddick lines that one into center field for a leadoff single in the 6th. No way to know right now whether Clint was doing that on his own or if it came from the dugout, but the wheel's certainly in motion this afternoon for the Padres.
Mark Sweeney down by the Padres dugout. What do you think?
I think Glenn Hoffman had a conversation with him, and if he saw something very interesting, especially like you said, Mark, him being in the windup for the lefty, with the back turned, you can get some extra steps without him even knowing it, and then the reaction of it. I thought it was a perfect time to do that.
Love a straight steal of home.
I love that too.
Oh, you don't get it nearly enough. So with a runner on, nobody out, Ben Zobrist checks in. Twice he's grounded out to Spangenberg. The first time Corey made a really nice play ranging towards the bag at second. Kazmir has committed a balk each of the last couple of years, but that was a big one, and that is a big fly to right. Kemp's looking up, and it's gone. 2-run homer for Ben Zobrist.
Well, it looked like an 0-1 slider. Check out Austin Hedges. Well, maybe it would have been a changeup. Well, whatever it was, it looked like it was off speed but elevated. Wanted it down and away.
So after the Padres scratch and claw a run out in the bottom of the 5th to tie it, Oakland jumps back on top in the 6th. Butler grounded out his last time up. Walked in his first plate appearance as Cashner kind of hits the reset button a little bit here and goes back to work.
Well, after further review, it was definitely a changeup out of the hand of Andrew Cashner. Just left it up a little bit, speeding up the bat, and caught just enough of it.
Four-pitch walk. As you take another look at the home run by Zobrist.
Let's take a look at the 0-1 pitch from Andrew Cashner. It was a changeup. And whether it's the changeup, the slider, the fastball, location. See how Austin has to reach across there. Caught the heart of the plate. It was up.
And here comes Pat Murphy. Dale Thayer's out in that bullpen. And the Padre manager making the walk out to the mound. And so Cashner, who pitched into the 7th inning in his last start, will be removed here in the 6th with Oakland up 5-3. A man on and nobody out. Andrew Kashner, and we take a look at the National University standings. We look at the National League West and the National League Wild Card. Padres 2 games below 500 and 6 games in back of the first place Dodgers. Certainly a part of the wild card conversation, although it's still very early. Dale Thayer on for the 30th time this season.
Pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford. Enter Dale Thayer. Last time out for Dale was Monday against the Dodgers.
And that one's hit well to right. Kemp is going back, and on the warning track, he reaches up to make the catch. Muncy lines to deep right. 1 away. Well, you saw the end of the conversation between Pat Murphy and Andrew Kashner. Here they were as Thayer warmed up.
It's all about the new manager getting to know his pitching staff and the pitching staff getting to know the new manager.
Catcher Fegley with 1 out and a man on first. Dale delivers a fastball strike. 0-1. And now that conversation continues with pitching coach Darren Balsley.
You know, that's what's strange about this game of baseball. You can throw 100 pitches. I'm just generalizing here.
Sure.
You throw 100 pitches and you're pitching a gem, and then all of a sudden, just one pitch can make the difference in a game and how quickly it can change. And when you make mistakes like that, location, we talk about it all the time. Fastball, sliders, curveball, changeups. Big league hitters, very rarely they're gonna capitalize on that. And the one that sticks out in this inning is obviously the 2-run shot on that changeup, and you see the line for Andrew as he's responsible for the runner on first.
Middlebrooks backs up, goes to second for 1. Quick throw to first, got him. Nice around the horn double play, turned by the Padre infield. Dale Thayer comes on and gets 3 outs for Andrew Kashner as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
Interview not too long ago, and they asked me, you know, how I feel to wear the same jersey as Tony Gwynn. And, you know, me personally, I've known Tony and had several conversations with him, being really close to his son. And, you know, me getting to put on this jersey that he got to wear and, you know, represent what he stood for in San Diego, and wearing a Padres jersey is very special. So, you know, I'm going to do my best to represent this jersey well and represent Tony Gwynn's legacy.
Matt Kemp discussing Tony Gwynn on this, the anniversary of his passing. Hard to believe it's been a year. June 16th, 2014. The Padre family, San Diego, and baseball lost Tony Gwynn at the age of 54. Nice sentiments there from Matt Kemp.
Absolutely, and there's a lot There's a lot that went on with Tony and his wife, Alicia, that a lot of people don't know. The things that they did behind the scenes that they didn't want to take credit for, helping other families, helping children. There's a lot going on there that they didn't want the recognition. Tells you a lot about the Gwynn family and what they did off the field.
You can hear from Alicia Gwynn coming up after the post-game show today. A very special edition of SD Live. Mrs. Gwynn, Mr. Enberg, and Mr. Leitner. Matt Kemp leading off against Fernando Rodriguez, who's in for Scott Kazmir. Hey, a right-handed reliever for the A's.
Come on. I know they've got 3 lefties. We saw all 3 of them last night. Pomeranz, O'Flaherty, Abad. And part of the problem this year for the swinging A's has been handing the ball over to Tyler Clippard, their closer.
The bridge. Rodriguez has pitched in the majors for the Angels and the Astros. Been with Oakland since 2013. Padres got an unearned run last inning. Melvin Upton reached on an error, stole second, went to third on a ground out, and then while attempting to steal home, Scott Kazmir balked. That's one way to do it. A's came back with 2 in the top of this inning as Kemp is frozen 1 away.
Big looping curveball from Rodriguez.
Number 11.
It's a good pitch.
Watch him get on top. Is that a knuckle curve? Almost looks like a knuckle curve grip with that index finger spiked into the ball. Straight over the top.
So Kazmir done after just 2 earned runs and 5 hits in 5 innings. He threw 81 pitches. And the A's in a 2-run game go to their pen as Will Middlebrooks grounds to short. Sogard's throw a little bit high, but good enough. 2 away.
Number 12.
Rodriguez spending some time with AAA Nashville this year. The Sounds. That's a new affiliation for the A's. Been at Sacramento for a long time before that. Some more complicated logistics now, maybe, calling guys up from AAA.
I never understood that. Why a major league team would not want a team closer to their big league city. I mean, the one that's so logical back from the day, and it makes so much sense, is when the Pirates had their AAA team in Hawaii.
The Islanders?
Yeah. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we're going to call this guy up from AAA. He'll be here in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be jet lagged and sunburned.
Right. Hey, nice catch right there. A nice lid as well. It's a big league lid.
Knew you'd like that. Barmes had that squeeze single his last time. Nice execution and nice idea, whether it was his or if it came from the dugout. That's another fun play.
Yes, it is. I love that play.
1-2 to Barmes, and he holds off on the high fastball.
I think it was the perfect storm, as I mentioned. And Mark Sweeney, you were down there to witness it, but bat control Barmes, speed at third, Butler at first. A lot going on there.
Yeah, it was an ideal situation, and it was smart baseball by Clint Barmes.
2-2 to the Padre shortstop, and he chases, and he will strike out as Fegley throws down. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Rodriguez. We'll go to the 7th. Presented by Harrah's. Austin Hedges, his first major league homer. That gave the Padres a lead in the third, but Oakland pitcher Scott Kazmir drove in a run and then came in to score on this two-run triple by Billy Burns, which put Oakland up 3-1. The Padres on a balk with Melvin Upton Jr. trying to steal home would tie it, but Ben Zobrist would answer right back. A two-run homer off of Andrew Kashner in the sixth. Put the A's up 5-3, and that's the score as Dale Thayer goes back to work here in the seventh inning. Pulled 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. He scored his last time up, and he hits that one in the air to center. Melvin Upton going back. Justin Upton coming over. Melvin Upton making the catch. One away.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Pitcher Rodriguez will be hit for Marcus Semien, who started yesterday at shortstop for the A's. Went 1 for 3 with an infield single and a couple of walks in last night's game. And he takes strike one from Dale Thayer. Bob Melvin continuing to work his bullpen here. As one of the lefties, Pomerantz, warms up. He'll be the second reliever, third pitcher used by the A's today. And a little bit interesting, Scott Kazmir taken out of the game. He allowed the 2 runs in 5 innings. Only had thrown 81 pitches.
Manager's choice. Maybe some stuff going on that we don't know about. Maybe it was just Bob Melvin saying, hey, you know what? That's a good day's work. Sometimes you got to look beyond the numbers, and some things may be going on that only the manager knows or the pitching coach knows at this particular time.
Sure. Threw 8 innings in his last start. And 105 pitches, so that could be part of it.
Sure.
Try and balance these things out. 2-2 to Semien. And in the air to center, right center. Kemp and Upton converging, and nobody's going to get there. Melvin Upton will play it off the wall. Simeon's going to be content with a double. A stand-up 2-bagger with 1 out. And the second pinch hit in 3 at-bats this year for Marcus Semien.
Number 1, Billy Burns.
As soon as this ball was up in the air, I thought maybe that this ball was going to be caught as Melvin Upton Jr. at center field. He's playing on the first base side. Nobody can get to it, and that's a double. Thought that ball was hung up there long enough to where somebody maybe had the chance to catch it. See if you can leave him stranded out there.
Thayer misses outside to the leadoff man Burns. He had the 2-run triple back in the 5th inning in his last at bat. That put the A's up 3-1. And this one's fouled away. Burns has also had a defensive impact on this game. Back in the bottom of the 1st inning, took a home run away from Justin Upton. And instead of the Padres having a 2-0 lead in the 1st, it was a double play that ended the inning. Thayer's 2-1 is in the dirt, and here it is in the bottom of the 1st inning. Justin Upton, second time in 3 days, looked like he had a big hit. And Yonder thought so too. He was doubled off. And another outstanding defensive play by a visiting center fielder. a name to know among American League rookies, Billy Burns. Check swing, foul ball there. 3-2. Inside, ball 4.
Number 20, Eric Sogard.
Dale Thayer and the Padres trying to keep this a 2-run game here in the 7th. Bottom of the order due up for San Diego in the bottom of this inning. But a couple of big outs for Dale Thayer to get.
All quiet in the Padre bullpen.
Sogard takes strike 1.
Usually relievers will not get up too early. Hopefully Dale Thayer leaves those runners stranded out there. Then at the end of the inning, get the call, as you mentioned, Jesse, with the pitcher spot due up. Then they'll get things working there. You get a full half inning to get loose. Plenty of time.
That could be 2. Spangenberg with the long flip, and Barmes will just hold on to it as the Padres get the lead runner, 2 away, and men on the corners.
Number 22, Josh Reddick.
Corey did everything he could on that play. There's no way they're going to get Sogard.
Reddick's been big in these spots for the A's. 1 for 3 this afternoon. Single leading off last inning. Came in to score on the homer from Zobrist. And Thayer hits the inside corner with a fastball. 0-1. Good movement on the fastball from Dale Thayer today.
Yeah, 92, 93. With regularity from Dale Thayer.
Runner goes from first, and the ball's hit in the air to right. Matt Kemp is there. He makes the catch, and the side is retired. Thayer pitches himself out of trouble. Stretch time in Petco.
In the outfield, what's the one goal you want? To take home a home run ball, and that is exactly what our San Diego fan of the game did today. I am with Gary Williamson, who caught Austin Hedges' home run ball. Thanks for joining us. I want to know, you catch the ball, when did you realize that this was a special ball?
Not until the bullpen guy said, hey, we want that ball from you.
Your first reaction was what? No?
Well, you know, I figured, okay, I'll trade it for a jersey or something. Yeah, no problem.
I want to say you did get a ball. Give us this one. They did trade it out. All the bullpen guys signed it. And then tell us what you're going to get to do afterwards.
I'm going to head out to the first base dugout, and I'm supposed to maybe meet up with Mr. Hedges and get a picture or something with him.
That's pretty awesome. He's a Reds fan, but I'm kind of hoping maybe after all the signing and getting to meet Austin Hedges, we might convince you to be a little bit of a Padres fan.
Sure, as long as they're not playing the Reds. Thanks.
Nice, Jesse. Back to you.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. Nice grab, Gary.
Yes.
Our fan Diego, fan of the game.
How about Gary, who's probably old enough to be the father of Austin Hedges, addressing him as Mr. Hedges.
He's respectful.
Yes.
Cincinnati guy, Midwest. Corey Spangenberg against the left-hander Drew Pomerantz. As the A's bullpen goes back to work. Well, I'm glad they were able to get the ball for Austin Hedges, his first Major League homer. And you got to love the Padre relievers being all over the situation.
Oh. Hey, Justin Hatcher, bullpen catcher down there. Willie Blair. As we take a look at the numbers for Drew Pomerantz. No relation to Mike. Threw a third of an inning last night in the seventh. The Achilles heel for these Oakland Athletics, the bullpen.
That's a fastball right there. 1-2. Yeah, Pomerantz, one of the 3 lefties used consecutively last night by Bob Melvin, as you see Sean Kelly, or Brandon Maurer, excuse me.
Yeah, Willie Blair and Justin Hatcher down there in that bullpen, they got things covered. They're going to take care of the fans and do whatever they can to get that memorabilia for Austin Hedges.
Dan Spangenberg looking, one away. And the aforementioned catcher will step to the plate.
Austin Hedges.
Hedges with one of the 5 hits for the Padres this afternoon. 1 of 2 guys to drive one in. Clint Barmas on the squeeze bunt in the 4th. And no RBI for the 3rd Padre run. The balk. Austin takes a big breaker. Strike 1. 8th career start for Austin Hedges. 5 of them have come in games started by Andrew Kashner. 1 ball and 1 strikes, and that's where he hit it. It's a pretty good pop. I like sitting in the outfield.
You know, it gives you a different perspective, but you're right. That is an awesome seat. First big league ball game you went to, where was it?
Shea Stadium.
Believe it or not, call me crazy, but I loved Shea Stadium. It had character.
It did.
There's something about that place.
Goes down, reaches for that one, and grounds it into the chest of Muncy, who recovers to throw him out. 2 away.
Muncy played that one very well. That's getting in front of it and sticking it right there in your chest and helping out your pitcher. Trying to erase and keep runners off the bases. This is one of those in-between hops. Hands out in front. Take it in the gut. 5-3 play.
What about you, Wrigley?
Wrigley Field.
Yeah. I grew up going to a lot more spring training games growing up in Florida in the pre-Marlins days than I did Major League regular season games. So most of my early childhood baseball memories are spring training. Jan Hervis Solarte pinch hitting for Dale Thayer and batting right-handed.
Good sharp breaking ball from Drew Pomerantz on the back door for strike 1.
That fastball misses outside. Solarte hitting for Thayer, who allowed a hit in 2 innings of relief. Jan Harris hits that breaker off the mitt of Pomerantz and rolling over to second base. Recovery, and they got him. Zobrist made the play after it was tipped off the mitt of Pomerantz. The old 1-4-3 putout and a 1-2-3 inning for the left-hander Drew Pomerantz. Looked like maybe Jan Harris was going to be able to squeak this one through, but he knocked it over to his second baseman, who made a nice play. We'll go to the 8th, 5-3 Oakland.
This day we remember. Tony Gwynn passed away 1 year ago today.
Mike, I had a first-class seat to watch the magician go to work, and it was my extreme pleasure to watch him. He is lost in all of our minds, but always remembered. But Tony Gwynn was so much fun to watch. Unfortunately, today is his year anniversary, and we always think of his family and also the great Tony Gwynn, Mr. Padre.
Remember him every single time we take a look at that beautiful statue out there at the park. Hope you get a chance to go by and check it out. When we see on Padres Live, the postgame show, guys, brought to you by Cox Communications, we're going to have a preview of a very special SD Live, which will follow our postgame show today. We have Tony's widow, Alicia Gwynn, on with us, also Dick Enberg and Ted Leitner, and we'll have the preview for it coming up after the final out. Jesse, Mark?
All right, guys, thanks a lot, and certainly looking forward to checking that out and reminiscing about Tony with maybe the person who knew him best, his wife, Felicia, and a couple of guys that worked with him and knew him very well, Ted Leitner and our very own Dick Enberg. That's after the post-game show here today, as Brandon Maurer has come on to be the third man to throw for the Padres this afternoon.
Well, tried to hold the swinging A's, and with those numbers, hopefully Brandon Maurer can get him right back in that dugout. 138, 170 splits. He's been throwing the ball extremely well, just attacking the zone.
He really has. We last saw him on Saturday night against the Dodgers. That 2-1 Padre win, and Maurer was the winning pitcher. He threw a 1-2-3 8th inning, and then Justin Upton homered in the bottom half. That 2-2 is lifted into shallow center. Barmes going back and making the catch. One away. This series between the A's and the Padres will continue in Oakland tomorrow as we head up to the Bay Area. Another Jesse on the hill for the A's. On yesterday, Chavez tomorrow against Odrisamer Despagne. Join us at 6:30 on Fox Sports San Diego. Dick will be back along with Mark Grant. First pitch swinging for Billy Butler, and he fouls it away. Butler down in that crouch, and he swings there, hits it hard, and past Barmes into left field for a one-out single. Third time Billy Butler's been aboard today. A couple of walks, and now a base hit.
See what this pitch is from Maurer. Two-seamer down, but Butler hits down on that baseball well and hits it solidly. Tell you what, if Clint Barnes comes up with that one, he could make a play.
Butler will be excused from the ball game. Pinch runner Andy Perino.
You know, talking to the people with Kansas City when Billy Butler was a Royale, nothing but good reports. Good guy in the clubhouse, good guy to have on the team. The guy you can have fun with.
Muncy takes strike one. Little change up. Now we're trying to keep it close. Out in front, 1-2.
Brandon Mauer's got it working. All of his pitches, fastball, power slider, nice changeup.
Former Padre Perino leads off of first base. And this one is rolled over Mauer and to Spangenberg, who's got just one play. That's the second out. As Perino goes to second. Mauer coming to the Padres in the Seth Smith trade with Seattle back before this season began. And today, of course, not just the anniversary of Tony Gwynn's passing, but also this morning they announced the Tony Gwynn Classic, which will be played for the first time next February. An 8-team tournament, college baseball, co-hosted by the Aztecs and USD, Bryant U, Nebraska, Nevada, Kentucky, Tulane, and UC Santa Barbara.
Nice.
Will play in a 12-game true championship format tournament, with the championship game being played at Tony Gwynn Stadium.
And it's only appropriate to have a tournament after the great Tony Gwynn, number 19 forever. That's nice.
Very nice. Great way to honor him, and a great way to remember him. That becomes an annual tradition, and I've heard a lot of people worked really hard to put that thing together. So nice job by them. Can't be simple getting all those different schools involved and committed, but a great cause, and that'll be a fun addition to the baseball calendar here in San Diego. Now we're trying to finish off the A's here in the 8th. The 0-2 to Fegley in the dirt. Nice stop by Hedges. Well, you don't have to worry about much with Austin Hedges back there. Ball's in the dirt.
Yeah. Great confidence from the pitching staff when you see his work behind home plate and preventing runners from taking the extra 90 feet. Derek Norris watches. He does a fine job as well.
Got him. Nice pitch from Brandon Mauer, and a nice inning for the Padre reliever. The A's leave one as we go to the bottom of the 8th. to by Petco. What we feed them matters. And by Sony, the leader of 4K Ultra HD. Little midweek day baseball at Petco Park. Padres trying to come from behind against the Oakland Athletics. The A's leading at 5-3 with the top of the order coming up for San Diego here in the bottom of the 8th. Melvin Upton Jr., Yonder Alonso, and Justin Upton against Drew Pomerantz, who stays in, at least for the start of this inning.
On top of the order, just the way you like it. Padres trailing by a pair.
Melvin has scored one of the 3 runs for the Padres today. Induced a balk by Scott Kazmir when he was on third base as Muncy moves from third to first, and Perino, who ran for Billy Butler, stays in the game to play third base.
Look at the wide stance from Melvin Jr.
Combined with his wiry frame, and fouls that one past Glenn Hoffman.
Picks up that foot just a little bit. Hey, it's worth another look as we go back to the ball. Kazmir going for the full windup. Runner at third. As soon as he starts, watch, he starts his delivery. He goes off and running. Kazmir rushes it. His foot comes off. Watch his back foot off the rubber. Once you start, you have to stay in contact with the rubber. Complete your motion towards the plate. That is a balk, a B-A-L-K, free 90 feet. That's a run.
And that is a line drive base hit to left field. So Melvin Upton Jr. aboard for the 3rd time this afternoon. A walk, an error, and now a clean single to left. Good start for the Padres here in the 8th.
Great way to start any inning as Upton Jr. stays back just enough. Gets that breaking ball from the lefty. Good view of that breaking ball out of the left-handed hand. The left-handed hand, is that right?
Sure.
Whatever, it's a single.
The left hand?
Yeah, whatever.
Oh. You got 2 hands, one on the left, one on the right. Left hand and right hand.
Well, we know Yonder Alonso can stay in there against lefties and see if we can do a 1st and 3rd action here.
Takes low, ball 1. Yonder singled off the lefty Kazmir in his first at bat as the Padres look for comeback win number 17. Couple of ground outs in his last 2 at bats. And a check on Melvin. Pomerantz with a long pause, and now he'll just step off. Melvin Upton Jr. more than capable of swiping a bag. Done so a couple of times in a Padre uniform.
That's a big lead there.
Yeah, it's a nice healthy lead.
Yes, it is.
Anytime you're past the cutout, he's daring him to throw over there again. He comes home, and Alonso hits it into center field for a base hit. Upton takes the turnaround second. He'll go to third. And just like Mark Grant said, 1st and 3rd for the Padres, nobody out. Second hit of the day for Alonso.
Melvin Upton Jr. doing his job over there at first base, maybe disrupting the timing of Pomerantz, and Yonder Alonso taking a mistake. A couple of base runners aboard, and still nobody out here for the Padres. Upton Jr. galloping over to third base.
That might be it, as Bob Melvin has come out to retrieve Drew Pomerantz from the hill, and he goes back to his bullpen. Padres threatening down 2 in the bottom of the 8th. Justin Upton coming to the plate against the former Padre, Evan Scribner. Drafted by Arizona, came up through their system, traded to San Diego for Tony Clark.
And a strike thrower. When you take a look at those numbers, his 32nd game, look at the walks. Only 3 walks. 37 strikeouts in 33 and 2/3 innings pitched. Nice splits as well for Evan Scribner.
Not an easy situation to walk into. Not only runners on the corners, but that guy, Justin Upton, coming to the plate. Melvin Upton Jr., the runner at third, Alonso at first. They have both singled, and they chase Drew Pomeranz. He's been clutch.
Fastball, curveball, cutter, and a change from Scribner. Low 90s.
He's inherited 13 runners so far this year. 7 have scored. Broken bat on the first pitch, roller to third. To second for 1, back to first, double play, and a run will score. It's 5-4.
Had to hold my breath a little bit as this bat goes flying towards Andy Perino. The concentration to turn that. Watch the head of this bat. It's up in the air. Serious hang time. Perino's making, look at that. It ends up right by his feet.
Good thing Melvin Upton can get down the line in a hurry, because Muncy, the first baseman, was thinking about 3. Matt Kemp, first pitch swinging, deep to left center field. And Matt Kemp's first home run at Petco Park ties the game.
Just like that, the Padres are back in this one, and first pitch hunting is Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp going Baba Booey here at Petco Park, tying it up. Oh, you betcha. King of the shillelagh right there, Matt Kemp. Couldn't come at a better time.
Nothing in 2 to Will Middlebrooks. Oh, talk about a weight off your shoulders for Matt Kemp. That one's hung and banged to left field for a base hit. 4th hit of the inning for the Padres. Middlebrooks 2 for 4 with a couple of singles, and he keeps it going.
We talk about hanging them and guys banging them. Look at this hanging breaking ball there. That could have been much worse, but Padres keeping it going with Will Middlebrooks. The hanging breaking ball out of the hand of Scribner. Get the crowd out of the seats this afternoon at Petco Park, thanks to Matt Kemp. Hey, thanks to Upton Jr., Yonder Alonso. After that double play, first pitch, Matt Kemp gone.
You mentioned it a little while ago. The A's have had all kinds of trouble bridging the gap from their starters to their closer. And that's the case once again here today. Clint Barmes had a late inning home run the other night against Clayton Kershaw.
I'm sure Justin Upton there talking to Derek Norris, getting some tips about these pitchers from the A's. The former A, Derek Norris on the left.
Oakland took game 1 of this series last night 9-1. They busted it open late. Oakland has struggled in close games all year.
Good cutter right there.
Barmes an active day. And a good take there, 2-1. Runner goes. The throw down to second base. Not in time. Oh, no! Will Middlebrooks called out by the second base umpire Adam Hamari for the moment. That is out number 3, but Pat Murphy is on the top step of the dugout. And we'll see if the Padres challenge this one. He's going to go back into the dugout, and so Middlebrooks is out, and that is the 3rd out. But Matt Kemp tied the game. His first homer at Petco in a Padre uniform. A big one. 5-5 as we go to the 9th at Petco Park. Inning, his first homer in a Padre uniform here at Petco Park. A solo shot, and check out the pitch location from the former Padres Scribner. It is up, it is in, and it is long gone off the bat of Matt Kemp. His 3rd home run of the season, and the Padres get a couple off the Oakland bullpen in the 8th, and now turn it over to Craig Kimbrell in a tie game here in inning number 9. 3.60 ERA, but Kimbrell has been pretty much nails in save situations. Of course, this isn't one. Going to try and keep us tied with Barmes, Spangenberg, and Hedges, the scheduled hitters in the bottom of the 9th inning for San Diego.
Hey, welcome to the jungle.
That's it.
It's been kind of that theme today, back and forth. It's been a jungle out there today.
Sam Fuld 0 for 2 with that walk, a strikeout, and a flyout in his 2 at-bats. Playing left field for the A's today. And hitting 8th. And he takes a fastball low from Kimbrell. There's a strike. 98 at the knees. Have fun.
Yeah. Good luck trying to square that up.
too low at 99, and 2 balls and a strike. From Craig Kimbrell to Sam Fuld. Padres led 2-0. Oakland led 3-2. Padres tied it at 3. Oakland immediately went up 5-3. San Diego tying it in the bottom of the 8th. And that's another ball, 3-1. Everything's been down to Sam Fuld.
Craig does a good job with that. It's not only the velocity, the upper 90s we know, but he does a fine job of keeping that pitch right at the knees. Well, occasionally it's going to leak a little bit once in a while.
And that's ball 4. Leadoff walk for Sam Fuld as we take a look back at the keys to the game, which were brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, the first one was avoid the big inning. Andrew Cashner, no runs in innings 1 through 4. They had a 3-run 5th and a 2-run 6th. Then the Padre bats came back, and we are tied at 5 here in the top of the 9th. And win one for Murph. First game as being named interim manager. We are tied at 5. Pat Murphy at the helm of the San Diego Padres for the remainder of the 2015 campaign.
Padres Live, the post-game show coming up. And, yeah, no matter what happens the rest of the way here, it'll be very interesting to hear from Pat Murphy for the first time after a game as manager of the Padres. Stephen Vogt is going to pinch hit for Oakland. They hit the grand slam last night. Originally, it was Mark Canha in the on-deck circle for the A's. But with a man on, perhaps Bob Melvin sensing a big opportunity here against Kimbrell, and he brings his slugging catcher to the plate. Vogt takes outside, ball 1.
First pitch curveball. We know that Vogt loves the fastball, so Craig Kimbrell trying to put a little wrinkle in one. Talk about a guy like Craig Kimbrell as you take a look at the numbers for Vogt this season. If he gets ahead with that curveball, that's a tough AB.
Yeah. Vogt not starting today as a pinch hitter this season, 1 for 4. He had his fingerprints all over last night's results. As the curveball hits the outside corner, 1-1. 3 for 5. The grand slam, 5 runs batted in. All of that after he was 0 for 11 in the series over the weekend in Anaheim. He takes a called strike, 1-2. Trip Gibson, the home plate umpire, extending things a little bit for Craig Kimbrell. And he got him. Curveball, curveball, curveball. Eventually, 98 reaches for it, can't touch it, 1 away.
And notice where these pitches are being thrown from Kimbrell. You take a look at the Fox tracks, everything's away. That's plus 95 with a little bit of movement, a little bit of run, arm side, and Vogt cannot catch up with it.
Big first out for Craig Kimbrell as the order turns over and the leadoff man, Billy Burns, stands in. Talk about having your fingerprints all over a game. 2-run triple, and he took a homer away from Upton. His Fuld tries to go. Hedges throws on the wrong side of the bag, but he got him.
Fuld can't believe it. Bob Melvin outside the A's dugout. Good jump, high leg kick. Jesse, you make a good point. Oh, did he block the bag?
I think he did.
Spangenberg blocked the bag?
It's a great job.
If he did, that is an outstanding job by the Padres second baseman. Look at the knee go down. Does he get to the bag? Kind of tough to tell there.
A's are challenging it, and a great job by Spangenberg dropping the leg to try and block Fultz' access to the base, and this one will be decided in New York. Fultz had been 5 of 6 trying to steal bases this year. And remember, call on the field is out.
He may have gotten his hand underneath the shin of Corey Spangenberg. Now, here's the deal. Are they going to have enough evidence shown back in New York to where they can overturn this call?
In last night's game, we had a situation where they did not have enough evidence. That was the Will Venable hit by pitch or not. And you see he's not fully blocking the base. The leg, the shin is sort of on top of the bag.
Yep.
And I think you might be right. He got the left hand in there. Spangenberg had the right idea.
You know what, though? You got to keep the tag on the runner. He lost contact with the bag. If we roll that again, watch how his leg will come up on Corey's leg and his hand will lose contact with the bag. Watch here. Okay, if he's safe there, okay, he's safe. But if he keeps it, now watch. His leg loses contact and his hand loses contact there off the bag. Looked like it to me.
It's really, really close all the way around. And you're right, there might have been a very brief moment there. Although it looks like he's trying to keep the left hand back on the base.
Got to keep the glove on the runner. These days, with the instant replay now, challenging, you have to keep that glove glued to the runner.
Been a long time on the phone with New York. Second base umpire is Adam Hamari. It's his call, and the crew chief, Brian Gorman. Boy, Hedges gets out of the crouch so quickly.
Yes.
And even though the throw was on the third base side of the bag, Spangenberg did everything right. Drops the left leg. And again, you can see it's on top of the base a little bit from Spangenberg, as opposed to in front of the base. Not that that's an easy thing to do when you're trying to catch a ball. And the longer this goes, maybe as a Padre fan, you get a little optimistic that they don't have enough to overturn it.
Right.
I mean, there's only so many times you can watch it.
Well, Brian Gorman on the left, he's the crew chief. The calling umpire at second base is Adam Hamari. He is on the right. Still waiting to hear from the jury.
A couple day games today. Maybe there's a backup in New York.
Yeah.
Please hold. The next available operator will be with you. We got a crazy review in San Francisco right now.
The jury's just been let in.
Okay. He's out. Nice job by Hedges and Spangenberg. And that's the second out of the inning.
And that's huge. Yeah, Jess, you made the good point. His leg wasn't directly in front of the bag. It was on top, but the call is made and not enough evidence to overturn the call. So hang with him.
Remember, all calls are recorded. Billy Burns, an 0-1 count. And a little bit outside, 1-1, as Kimbrel returns to the breaking ball. Lays off, 2-1. Mentioned before the caught stealing in the replay review. He had the big 2-run triple in the fifth. That was against Andrew Kashner, but he also had the great catch in the first to take a homer away from Justin Upton. Padres have hit a couple out of the yard today. And a couple of milestone type home runs. First of the major league career for Austin Hedges, and that guy Matt Kemp, first homer this season here at home.
Well, we got some chirping going on with Bob Melvin and home plate umpire Trip Gibson. Kind of tough to tell what Bob Melvin was arguing. I don't know if he thought maybe catcher's interference on the swing or something, or who knows.
2-2 to Burns.
You know what? Maybe it was.
I don't think so.
No, I'm not saying he hit the glove. I'm just saying maybe Bob Melvin. It sounded like it may have been catcher's interference from Bob Melvin's perspective.
You could see on that replay, though, it was not.
Clearly.
Check swing there, and ball 4. So he reaches regardless, and that's the second walk of the inning issued by Kimbrel, who's trying to keep this thing all tied up. Same two teams, same channel, different ballpark. Tomorrow night, the O.Co Coliseum will host the Padres and the A's. Mentioned the 2 walks this inning by Kimbrel. Padre pitchers have allowed 6 free passes this afternoon. 3 by Cashner, 1 by Thayer. Kimbrel paying some attention to Billy Burns, who can certainly steal a base. 12 for 14 on the season to lead the team, and he's 8 for his last 8. The most capable of the Oakland base stealers. Although Austin Hedges, one of the most capable arms behind the plate you'll find.
I think it's worth mentioning again that cutout you were talking about, Jesse, right here. From first base to here is 17 feet. So that could be an indication when a runner goes all the way out there. Remember Melvin Upton Jr., he was beyond that. That is a big lead.
He goes. Hedges throw. Not in time. That's 9 straight stolen bases for Billy Burns.
Burns may have gotten a mouthful of dirt or a mouthful of Rawlings from Clint Barmes. Oh, no, he got a mouthful of kneecap, it looked like, from Clint Barmes. Head first slide. Head right into the knee. Look at Clint. See what Clint is doing? He's trying to keep that glove pinned on the runner. Does he come off the bag? No, he keeps his left hand on the bag.
So a man on second, and that's a chopper up the middle. It gets by Barmes, and the A's are going to take the lead. That was a big stolen base for Billy Burns, and Sogard follows. 6-5 Oakland.
You know, you talk about seeing eye singles. And when you just play pepper up the center of the diamond, get it past the pitcher. Short stroke from Sogard. The one hopper just out of the reach of Clint Barmes. Off the glove.
Sogard at first. Reddick the batter. 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored. 1-1. The closer, Tyler Clippard. Runner goes, pitch outside. Hedges throw down to second base. Not in time. Second steal of the inning for Oakland. 2 for 3 this inning, and the A's, one of the most efficient base stealing teams in baseball. Caught very rarely. They don't take a ton of opportunities, but when they go, more often than not, they're successful. Reddick tips that one at the plate and into the mitt. 2-2.
99 on the fastball.
Scheduled hitters for the Padres in the bottom of the ninth: Barmes, Spangenberg, and Hedges. 6, 7, and 8. Reddick hits that one down the line and left, but looks like it's going to find the seats, and Upton nearly got there.
Hey, good effort. You know, quite frankly, I'd like to see more of that. Outfielders climbing the walls. Even on high home runs, climb the wall.
Well, you see in left field at Petco this year, everybody kind of talks about the corner, that short wall, the 5-foot wall. But most of the rest of left field in the outfield is 7 feet now as opposed to 8. And every time that you see a home run hit into the first couple of rows in left field this year, you see the left fielder going up on that, even that taller fence. That one's ripped the other way and foul. Reddick has now tried both sides. "24 pitches this inning by Craig Kimbrell. A couple of walks, a hit, and a run. Now he wants to chat with Hedges. Right now, the difference in this game, Eric Sogard's RBI single. His college coach at Arizona State, Pat Murphy. Reddick just gets a piece, 2-2. Golfs that one to the right side in foul territory. Spangenberg and Kemp coming over, and Matt makes the catch for the third out of the inning. However, the A's get one off of Kimbrell, and the Padres trail 6-5.
do you believe in me? And I just looked at him. He said, do you believe in me? I looked at him again. He said, do you believe in me? And I said, of course, honey, I will always believe in you. He said, well, you just keep believing in me and carry on. And don't let anybody get in your way. You just do your thing.
We lost Tony Gwynn 1 year ago today, and a special edition of SD Live with Alicia Gwynn and Dick Enberg and Ted Leitner coming up after the post-game show here this afternoon. A wonderful look back at Tony's career and also his life. That's a good place to be today. Closer for the A's, Tyler Clippard on the pitch here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Will Venable is going to pinch hit.
9 for 11 in the save opportunities category. Mid-90s, low 90s with the fastball. Changeup, sinker, curveball, cut.
First year in an Oakland uniform for Clippard. Came over in a trade with Washington for Yunel Escobar. Began his career with the Yankees. And a little bit of a rough June so far for Tyler Clippard. Allowed 3 runs in 4 innings through 5 June outings.
Yeah, and that can really skyrocket the ERA. 6.75 in that time. We just saw a changeup right there from Tyler Clippard.
Bob Melvin got to his closer as the A's got one off the Padre closer in the top of this inning. And Will Venable, who drove in the only run of the night last night for the Padres, trying to get a rally started here in the bottom of the 9th.
Kind of a funky delivery from Clippard as well. High front side with that glove, and then all of a sudden, bang, over the top, that ball is on you. You can see what Clippard's trying to do here, keeping the ball away from Will Venable. Look out.
Padres Live, the post-game show coming up next. We'll hear from Pat Murphy. First game as the interim manager of the San Diego Padres. Venable chases, strike 3. Fegley throws him out, 1 away.
Number 15, Corey.
Pat Murphy before the game, and you heard it if you were with us earlier, talked about that great feeling he has seeing guys he coached and develop have success at the next level. I wonder how he felt as Sogard had the RBI single in the top of the 9th. Probably a little bit different. Corey Spangenberg takes a fastball high. So the splits, left-handers hitting just 128 against Clippard this year. Struck out Venable. And now another left-handed batter. 2-0. Changeup.
Well, we know what can happen if you hang a changeup. Speed up the bat, get out in front of it. Corey Spangenberg has gone and left the yard to right field here before.
Another off-speed pitch, that time for a strike. 2-1. Three balls and a strike to Corey Spangenberg as you take a look at Derek Norris, who stepped into the on-deck circle. Austin Hedges' spot is due. So Norris going to have a big opportunity against his old team. Hitters count for Spangenberg.
Hey, bloop and a blast. I think that'd be only appropriate. Corey Spangenberg, get on, hey, you walk. That equals a bloop.
Sure.
And then bring up Norsaurus Rex.
A walk and a wallop.
I like it.
All right. Got him. Time now for the Bill Howe play of the game. We take it back to the bottom of the third with one out. Austin Hedges, first big league homer. Handshake and a pat on the chest.
Number 3, Derek Norris.
Derek Norris 1 for 5 as a pinch hitter this year. Come up in some big spots for the Padres and had some big hits. The former A 1 for 3 last night with a walk against his old team. Debuted for Oakland back in 2012. Padres have gotten homers from Hedges and Kemp.
Tyler Clippard not afraid to throw that changeup, righties and lefties alike. Almost Joaquin Benoit-like. That's his secondary best pitch.
Padres down to their final strike. Got him. Tyler Clippard comes out of the bullpen and strikes out the side as the A's take this one 6-5. Padres hit a couple of home runs in today's game, and so a total of $24,000 was raised for prostate cancer research. To make a donation, you can go online to homerunchallenge.org, homerunchallenge.org. Final score once again 6-5. Padres Live, the postgame show is coming up. Mike Pomerantz.
Jesse, thanks very much. When we see in just a couple of moments, we're going to have a preview of a very special SD Live, which will follow us immediately. We look back on the life of Tony Gwynn, who died 1 year ago today.